Basically, there's your box art anyway, lad, as well, by the way. He's doing the Kevin McAllister kind of...
Oh, my God. Oh, that is so cursed. That might be the worst thing I've ever seen on the box of a DVD ever. That poor... If that... Oh, no.
All right, lads, welcome back to another episode of the ShiteTalk podcast, the Christmas special. I'm sure you can probably tell that once again we are on Zoom due to difficulties in the real world. But you know what? It's all right. We're going to try and get through it. We had a little bit of a stinker trying to start up here. Grivach, would you like to explain what just happened before I press record?
Right, so basically, lads, I joined the call, and obviously, like, you joined the call, and myself and Kelly, the cameras come on, and we're setting up and everything like that. And I noticed Kelly was like talking to me, but I couldn't hear. I could see his mouth moving, but I couldn't hear what he was saying. So I was like, "Oh, Kelly, your mic's not working, man, or the internet is dodged. Like, can you hear me?" Like, and it's like obviously he was saying, yeah, he was just giving me the old thumbs up and all that, and just all was good on his end. So I was like, we were both like, "What's going on?" Like, you know. And I think Kelly did a few bits trying to fix the mic there for like 5 minutes, and then I still couldn't hear him. And then Kelly just was there looking as if he was a bit distressed. So I was like, right, I'll see if there's anything I can do on my end, you know. And I looked at my keyboard, and I was like, oh, Jesus. Hang on a minute. Have I even got my volume up? And then Grivach proceeded to press the volume key once and saw that his volume was on 0. So we're about 10 minutes delayed because of a horrendously amateur mistake from Grivach. But sure, look, you know, these things happen.
Look, it's the ShiteTalk podcast. We have these kind of technical issues the whole time, but this was just this made me laugh. I'm not gonna lie.
That was the worst. But for a guy who's worked with computers and all this crack since like secondary school, we had a whole module on computers at one point.
Yeah,
that's an L. That's a stinky start.
Literally, man. We've all had those moments. You know, we both use computers the whole time, and you know, we all. You know, it happens to the best of us. Just put your mind at ease. Exactly. But yeah, lads, welcome to the 2021 Christmas special of the ShiteTalk podcast. This is the third one we have done to mark our 3 years that the podcast has been going on YouTube. Yeah, any news with you, mate? Before we get into anything, obviously we like to start things off this way.
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. You know, there's been, you know, I've been working obviously, and you know, in work you do see, as you of all people know, you see various things. I feel like every time we do a podcast, it's a story related to
it's my just work. Like, yeah, it's a late. What's happening in Grivach's work?
I want to just go on record to say that on my life, everything I say, whether it makes it into the cut or just to Kelly, is 100% true, and this genuinely all has happened in work. So if he's here on the pod, as strange as it sounds that I have a story every week, I promise you, if you ask anyone else in my work, they would tell you that's just a normal day. All right. So this one is not as bad, but it still involves bodily fluids. So again, this may be cut from the video. This will probably be when it cuts back in, but you will understand why that can't be said. But if you see Kelly's reaction,
oh my God,
I promise you that there's a reason it can't be said. But I swear, it is honestly, the shit I do see at my work is ridiculous. It is honestly.
Do you know how The Office? Yeah, do you know how the whole thing is like a documentary of the workplace? I genuinely feel like you could hire like a camera crew and just send it to your work and just like document all the crazy shit that happens every week, and you could get an amazing sitcom / documentary or mockumentary out of that.
I think it would go down well, mate. Because honest to God, like I said, that's one of multiple instances I've just cropped up over the last like 6 months. It's been unreal. Anyway, other than that,
that's fucking mental, man.
There's probably no extra news. You know, just doing bits, you know, doing the old lessons and doing work in college and all that kind of crack. So it's all good. I'm just very busy now at the minute. So that's probably the only thing that's up with me recently. What about yourself?
To be fair, like, I think your bit of news that you've just given there is probably enough news to do us for the next month if we wanted, to be honest with you. But obviously it can't stay in, but you can tell by my reaction Mad story. But yeah, no, same as yourself, lad. I've been doing my annual Christmas casual work.
Yes.
Earning a few bob here and there, you know yourself. And I suppose the biggest bit of news I have over the last couple of weeks has to be that I went to see Spider-Man No Way Home on Saturday, and I nearly cried multiple times.
Ooh.
And I don't cry like ever, let alone in fucking movies. Yeah, I won't spoil anything because I'm going to presume you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I won't spoil anything. But it is fucking amazing. And I recommend anyone who hasn't seen it, go see it. I've got a Spider-Man Christmas jumper as well.
Oh, let's go!
No, on brand. Actually, while we're on the subject, what's the contents of the Grievat Christmas jumper?
So this is the jumper that Grievat wore out for. I think it was 12. It was either 12 pubs or Christmas Day in AIT, so it's a bit better. But it is this jolly little reindeer looking lad.
Yeah.
And there is lights on this, but in the course of the night, myself and myself and the woman can't remember how. There's like a little LED button should be here,
right?
Like little thing to light it up. That's just been robbed. We don't know where that's gone. That has been. It looks like it's fallen off, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm raging because I was hoping it would still work and light up the pot. It would be sick. But yeah, that's all I remember is that jumper did not last the night.
Yeah, I can imagine not. What was it? 12 pubs? 12 days of Christmas?
I think it was Christmas Day, actually. I don't think
Christmas Day, okay.
Oh, maybe it was.
You can't even remember this, but
yeah, it was either Christmas Day. Actually, it might not even been Christmas. It might have been going out at a period of time during Christmas.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. But yeah, it didn't survive. And there is a couple of marks on it. Pretty sure that's alcohol.
Yeah, well,
I hope it is.
Some sort of bodily fluid.
Yeah, it's scrap I don't remember or something like that.
Yeah. It's fucking. I suppose I was about to say it's good to be able to actually go out again and go out on the lash again, but it looks like that's kind of in the bin again now with the old restrictions. What is it? Is it an 8 p.m. closing time now for closing clubs?
It's like 8 or 9, I think, or something like that. It's a bit dead, isn't it? Like it's
dead. I mean, like really, it's not going to stop anything. It's going to be that Danny was telling me about a clip from Father Ted that he's seen on his TikTok recently, and it was like, this is literally how it's going to go, right? Who's on for a fresh round of pints? Sorry, lads, pubs closed. Who wants a fresh round of pints? In my gaff, and everyone just starts fucking cheering. Like that's exactly what it's going to be. And like, I mean, you can't blame it at the same time.
Like, that's the thing, like, because you can't stop. Like, there's no restriction currently of people getting together. Like, as in, like, you know, if you wanted like a group of mates in your house, that's fine. Like, it's been like massive gatherings, like sporting events. I don't know if they said anything about weddings or any of that kind of crack. But all that kind of like, you know, big like events, they put restrictions on. But like, you know, the pub thing, I feel is kind of stupid because not only is it not going to do anything, does feel a little bit pointless considering that I think majority of the infection rate is from like
schools, primary schools,
schools, all that kind of crack, and colleges as well. I think now are starting to cop up, like increase because of exam periods. So I just think it's a bit pointless. Like I remember reading something. It's like they're trying to implement a lockdown, but don't want to call it a lockdown. So they just announce new restrictions, like just small restrictions every so often until it eventually amounts to what would have been a full lockdown like a month ago, basically.
Yeah, I think it's all a bit stupid at this point. Like obviously the only positive reason I could have for having another lockdown or restrictions being brought in is obviously the workload being eased on like the healthcare workers and stuff like that. Apart from that, mate, like I feel like this virus is just here to stay now, really. And obviously, I said to you before we began, I'm getting my booster now today, as we're recording this. So I feel like it's just going to be a case of, you know, every year or every 2 years, every 6 months, you have to get a booster. I know that's just the way it's going to have to be, unfortunately. But it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. People are talking about, when COVID ends, COVID ain't ending, man. It's Groundhog Day. Like, it's not ending. It never will. And the sooner you kind of accept this and learn to live with it, the sooner you can get back to being happy.
I think that's a key point. What you said there is about learning to live with it. Like, it's not a case of like, you know, at a certain level, I understand that it is a you know, a virus. It has been proven to be deadly. You know, fair enough. Omicron apparently, I think, is less severe now, but it's more infectious. I think so, like, at a certain level, we have to kind of say, like, we can't live our lives constantly locking down. You know what I mean? Like, and just putting restrictions in. Like you say, we have to kind of have a case of acceptance that we're not going to beat it by locking down every 4 or 5 months. You know, we have to just accept that it's going to be a case of, you know, we have to get either boosters, or it's going to become like the new big flu, like, you know, where it's just you have to get a jab for it. Obviously, that'll take time because, you know, development of just one vaccine that does everything against mutations is going to take a while to what's it called, to produce. But yeah, I would like to see at a bit of a certain level some acceptance that, you know, it's not going anywhere and we have to just get on with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not ideal, obviously, but you can't, like I say, you can't just throw everyone's life away and, you know, everyone else is like, I think about the healthcare workers as well. Like, that is, like I said, the only positive to doing the lockdown. I could totally understand if they did a lockdown. I totally understand it, but it is, you know, at the same level, and years to come. Like, you know, are we still going to be saying, you know, it has to be another lockdown? You know, it has to be, you know, keeping ourselves and all these restrictions and all that crack. Like, I'd be very much like, you know, anything to help, but at the same time, I'm wondering now, is this really helping anymore?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like Groundhog Day in a way. But you know, when you mentioned you know, your Christmas Day or going out, whatever it was, reminded me of a couple of weeks ago. I was out in Maynooth and I wore this like grey kind of jumper. Big mistake, mate. Big mistake. It was the first time out really like in a club in like a long time. And by the end of the night, mate, my fucking top was absolutely between sweat. Like, it was a sweat box. It was an absolute sweat box. Sweat and drink just like all over. I was like, why did I do it? Well, this is the worst color of fucking top you could choose to wear out, man.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rookie mistake.
Rookie error. I was like, I like this top. This is a nice top. I'm gonna look well. Not for long though, unfortunately. But it was a great night. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's all we care about. That's all we care about.
Exactly. I see, mate, behind you have a little Christmas fireplace going on behind you there.
Yeah, there's a little Christmas scene going on there.
Very
nice.
Not
gonna lie. Yeah, it was. You know, I was gonna try and move, like, because my desk is weird. I was gonna move it out to behind me and try and like zoom it in.
Yeah.
But I realized as I moved it, there's like 20 million cables attached behind it, so I just decided it was a very scary moment. Actually, it almost knocked the PlayStation off the desk.
Oh, Jesus.
So won't be touching that ever again. But
fair. It looks well though.
It's not too bad, is it? I'm quite happy with it. I want to go with like a bit better, but you know, I'm still kind of scared that something's going to happen. It just, you know what I mean? Like, it's,
if we get that on camera, that's going to be peak ShiteTalk. That is it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It looks like one of those ones where something could happen as well. But anyway, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, happy days. Behind me, I've got our own kind of Christmas decorations up, I suppose, as well. The old Christmas tree. I think you can kind of see it. You can kind of
you can. Yeah, the tree.
Yeah, we've got a nice little Christmas set. You know, we're setting the vibes, as we said in the last episode, lads. I think, you know, Christmas episodes in previous years haven't really been anything to do with Christmas, so we're trying to incorporate that a little bit more into this episode. And, you know, with that said, I suppose we should get on to some Christmas topics, mate, right? And I have a couple of questions that I have written down in my notes now. Let me just see. Okay, right. What is, right, your earliest Christmas memory?
Oh, okay.
Mine is a painful one.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
It was painful.
Right.
It's not good.
Oh, God, I'm very nervous now to hear yours. Because my one, definitely the earliest one and the clearest one, maybe not the earliest one, the clearest one I can remember, maybe was when I was, I would say, like 8-ish.
Okay.
And I was mad into Lego at the time. Obviously I'm still mad into Lego. And this was like the time where I was big into Star Wars Lego. So I got this, like, I think it was, I can't remember. I'm gonna get slated now because I should know this, but it's like one of the Empire ships, one of the triangles. It's it's like part of the Imperial fleet. It's not. Me and Dad called it the Millennium Falcon mistakenly, and obviously that is a huge cataclysmic error.
You've got all the Star Wars stands in the comments
just rinsing me now, like. But yeah, I got that, and that was a huge. It was one of the biggest, definitely one of the best Lego sets I've ever gotten. I just remember building it with Dad, and it just in the morning after mass, like even in mass, I brought pieces of Lego to assemble mid mass, like, you know, little figures just fighting each other on the pews, which was always great crack. And then, yeah, just spent the day building Lego and having the crack. So that's probably my earliest one. Well, that's the one I clearly remember. But there's probably an earlier one. Like, I definitely vaguely remember leaving the cookies and milk on. I definitely remember one of the years, like there was a footprint, like the fireplace, left on the carpet. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I actually remember a similar incident myself.
Yeah, like, you know, the standard, like, you know, stuff. But yeah, that's definitely the earliest I can remember. Yeah.
So right, basically, I said mine was painful. Right, it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, it's not. Nobody died. Nobody got hurt physically, anyway. Right, basically. Oh God, I must have been very young because it was around the time of the Wallace and Gromit movie, right?
Rabbit one.
Wallace and Gromit and the Curse of the Were Rabbit. Yes. I was massively into Wallace and Gromit back in the day. Still love a good bit of Wallace and Gromit, especially around this time of year. Yeah, and I was given this Wallace and Gromit garden gnome, right? A Wallace garden gnome and a Gromit garden gnome, and they kind of, maybe it wasn't around the time of the movie because they weren't really dressed in like their movie attire, but Gromit had like his like a vegetable and like a shovel digging into the vegetable, or whatever. And Wallace had something as well. They're still out, actually, coincidentally, out the front of my house. They're still there. If you next time you're over, I'll show them.
Yeah, I'm gonna spot these.
Yeah, they're a bit battered and bruised. I need to bring them in and paint them because, you know, they've been out there for years now. But yeah, Christmas morning, I was gassed. I got them, and basically, I wanted to. Oh man, I was picking them up. I picked them up and what to basically sprint down to my room to leave them there. And I picked them up, started sprinting, running down to the room. I was very young, lad, very young. And I dropped the grommet onto the ground and the fucking bottom of it completely smashed. I think it's still smashed to this day. Now, the damage wasn't horrific, but I cried my fucking eyes out. I was gutted. Chris, like the first thing you could have done, I was too gassed and I just dropped it. Like, they're garden gnomes as well. Like, they're not toys. Like, they are heavy. And I would have been a very young child, and yeah, painful stuff. And I genuinely think that might be my earliest Christmas memory. I genuinely think it is.
Do you know what I think is worse about that story is the fact, like, when you get a toy as a child, like, it's like a new toy, it's that euphoria of just getting something new, and like, especially when it's something that you like. But because he's a garden gnome, like, they're delicate, obviously. I can only imagine the trauma. Like, when you break a toy, like, it might have something fall off it. A garden gnome
smash
into literal pieces.
Yeah,
that is what. Genuine. If that was me, like you say, it would absolutely have broken me. Like you say, that is rough, bro.
Heartbreaking. And I think if you look at it now, I do think it's. I think we might have brought it up and managed to glue back on bits of it, but it is still quite battered and bruised. I think it's still, you know, it's still in working order in a sense. Like, you can still, it's still all right, but it could have been better. But yeah, I do plan on bringing them in and giving them an old fresh lick of paint or something over the Christmas now, because they've been out there since I was very, very, like, since Christmas morning that we got them all those years ago, long time ago. But Yeah, traumatizing stuff. You mentioned the Lego there. What is the what is the would that be the greatest Christmas present you think you ever received?
Yeah, I think so. I think it has to be. Now, I can't remember, like, see, the problem is, like, I know I got certain stuff, and it was either from my birthday or Christmas, so I can't actually remember. Like, I remember when I got the Xbox 360. Like, at the time, it was like, literally, I got the Xbox 360 like a year and a half before the Xbox One was announced, like, so
right,
pretty obsolete at that point. But that period of time, I got the Xbox was honestly the best, like, time ever. Like, it was so good. I don't think it was Christmas, so I'd say the Millennium Falcon definitely, it just stands out. And even in this house, if you ask anyone what is one of the best Christmas, like, ever, it was that year that I got the Millennium Falcon, because I think everyone got like something really big and really cool. But I think the girls got, I can't remember what the girls got, but I remember it was big. I think it was like you know, them doll, like, hospital playing things, and it was just this really big thing. It was actually really good. So it was just like one of those mornings. It's a classic Christmas morning where your parents are setting things up, like, you know, putting batteries in and putting things together and all that crap. Yeah. I was in the sitting room, and then Mom was making breakfast. It was like a fry and everything. Oh, it was just so good. So I'd have to say, based on that, and based on the amount of crack I had with it, definitely the Millennium Falcon has to be, or not the.
You did say a couple of seconds ago, I wasn't going to correct. I don't know what the correct name for this, so I wouldn't have been able to correct you. But
we're going to look this up now. Yeah, lads, I do apologize for calling it the Millennium Falcon. It's just me and my dad. Dad just called it Millennium Falcon, and it just stuck with me for so long because it was one of the biggest, like, childhood Empire Starship, I think it is. Yeah, it's like an Emperor Starship. Yeah, we'll say that. It's part of the Imperial Navy, apparently.
Oh, well, there you go. You see, the comments have probably already told us all this, but look, lads, can't read the comments while we're recording the episode.
You know what I mean? Anyway, what about you, mate? What is other than the Wallace and Gromit smashed into a billion pieces?
Yeah.
Obviously, we won't count that because that has just been ruined by the trauma.
Yeah. You see, similar to you, I think a lot of the gifts, I kind of get birthdays and Christmas mixed up, and I kind of forget when we got them. I think we got our PS2 on Christmas. I think we did. And obviously, we got years and years of fucking fun out of that. And you know what? If you give me, I think our PS2 actually still works, but just like half the games don't work on it anymore or something like that. Like, I'd happily go back and play Simpsons Hit and Run like all day long if you give me the chance.
Stop.
Like we talked about on the pod before, like elite game, absolutely elite. And some of my favorite games of all time were on the PS2, and that's certainly one of them. I think that was Christmas. I'm not overly sure. I'm pretty sure the pool table that we have out in the studio now.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was a Christmas present, and I think that was the one that had like the Santa boot on the outside of the cardboard box.
Very good. Jeez.
Yeah. So I think that was I think that was Christmas. That might have been that or the table tennis table. I can't remember. It was one or the other. Might have been both. Might have been separate years. I don't know. But yeah, surely it was separate years. I'm not sure the amount of money that it cost. A pool table and a table tennis table.
Two tables, like,
fuck me. But you know, obviously the pool table is still in great use today in Aaron Kelly verdicts and ShiteTalk podcasts. But yeah, no, I think if the PS2 was Christmas, if that was a Christmas present, then absolutely the PS2, because like as I said, got years and years of, you know, good crack out of that, and would still go back and play half the games if half of them worked. I'm pretty sure Simpsons still works. So if I could find a way to record games on the PS2, I'm pretty sure you can play it on PC as well. I genuinely would play it for a video, like 100%.
I think it's like an emulator or something like that online.
Yeah.
And you can, and that's definitely something I actually, do you know what, now you've said that, I'm going to investigate this after the pod now, because I would die a happy man if I could replay Simpsons Hit and Run just all the way through. Because it's one of those games where, realistically, the concept is so simple and missions are so, like, well, not all of them, actually. Some of them are actually kind of mad.
Some of them are so difficult. Jesus, I struggle with them.
The time they came out as well, like it was very like some of the cars were just undrivable at times, like but it just I think it was like seeing and playing a Simpsons game, and it was in reality it was kind of like an open world Simpsons, in that you got to just go through, a childhood cartoon and just pretty much do what you want.
Yeah.
So it's one of the best games. I think anyone who's played it would agree it's one of the best games that they've ever played.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of people calling for a PS4 or a PS5 port of the game, or like a remake. I wouldn't want a remake personally. I would love to see them port the game to PS5, and leave the graphics and everything exactly as they are, because it's a Simpsons game. It doesn't have to be any more advanced than it was. And I think the really shitty graphics on some of the NPCs walking around makes the game 10 times funnier. And do you
know what I mean? Just some of the things you see them doing is that.
Yeah, but like when you kick someone over and they're all just like flailing on the ground like that, it's just like, it's so funny, man. It's funny.
Like, do you ever see when you knock them over in the big inflatable sumo sits?
Yeah.
Every time I see that, that's all I can think of. Like,
that's actually spot on. That's actually spot on as well.
I totally agree with you, because like we've seen, especially in like the last couple of months, that remaking a couple of old games can end up ruining them. Like GTA 3 and GTA San Andreas, GTA Vice City, I think, were remade, and they look shit.
Yeah,
like absolute shite. Now they have said they would fix it, but I just think like if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And Simpsons Hit and Run is a game that is so far from being broke. It is perfect in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any change to it.
Absolutely. But we were just talking about some of the missions in that game. Like that, so some of them were so like I could never complete them as a fucking child. Like even going back as an adult child, playing them, it's like the last few missions where you have to collect nuclear waste from the power plant, bring it all the way to the school in like 60 seconds without crashing into anything. It's like it's ludicrous. It's crazy.
The other thing I remember vividly as well is that Simpsons mission where you're Marge and you have to crash into the video game truck to get the video game. The problem I had with that was that it was so inconsistent of what counted as a crash and what didn't, because there was times where I was just behind it and it counted as a crash and would just fuck something out the back.
Yeah,
I have to do this massive U-turn, try and get that and chase after it before it gets away. So it was so stressful at the time. I remember struggling with that so much. But yeah, definitely some of the missions were crazy hard. That last one with the nuclear waste in particular, I don't think I've ever completed that.
Yeah. Oh, I did recently, but like fuck me, it didn't. Let's just say I didn't get it first time. I'll say that much. I do plan. I would love to have like an actual proper game in PC and play that as a series on the channel. And if I did, mate, you would 100% be there with me playing it like until dawn. Like it'd be Kelly and Grievous play Simpsons Hit and Run. Lads, would just like to see that in the new year. I know I would.
It has to be.
I would. I'd absolutely love to see that. But moving on, fanboying over the Simpsons now. Let's move on. Okay, staying on the Christmas topics, lad. I don't think this one's even a question. If your answer for this question isn't one particular answer.
Oh, no.
No, you'll be fine with this because we've actually talked about it on the podcast before, right? What is the best Christmas song ever?
Ever. That's not, like Kelly says, it's not even a question.
Exactly.
It is Mamacita. It has to be. There's too much culture with that song.
Remember that was a proper meme for us back in school, that song.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Mamacita. No, that was so bad. That was so bad because of the backstory of the song as well.
Yeah. It was horrible.
Man. We were so. It was still funny though.
It was just. You know when it was like those random moments where we were all in the group and then one of us would just go, Mamacita. It just because like honestly, you are probably watching this thinking like, what the fuck are these boys on about? But if you were there, you had to be there to witness the culture behind it, because oh my days, that song, laughs. It was ruined for everyone after we had done that.
It kind of was, but in a sense as well, you know, we were told, we were in Spanish class and we were told about, you know, what the song was about, and horrendously like tragic backstory to it. But obviously when you're in secondary school, everything is funny. So the lads just started making a meme of it, and just literally those two actions, the mamacita, that would just set everyone off in fits of laughter. I'm looking at Grivach right now. He's reconsidering the meme now, but at the same time, it was still funny for the time. It was still funny.
No, and I totally agree. Like every time there's an ad at the minute on Christmas, and it's like it plays that song in the background, and I can't watch it because it just brings the instantaneous flashbacks of that moments. And it's like, oh, in the classroom. I can remember even the classroom we were in for that.
Yeah. Fully. Like, it's one of those, you had to be there, boys. You had to be there. Yeah. Some people might be looking at this podcast right now and, you know, not having a clue what the backstory of the song even is. It is horrendously tragic. If you do want to read about it, go do that. Yeah. So, are we taking Mamacita as your final answer, or are we going to give us a proper answer here?
I'll give you a proper answer, and to me, I don't know if this is the right answer now, but this is always when this comes on, it's like, if you don't go off and just have just give it everything when this song comes on, are you even real? And that is Fairy Tale of New York.
Yeah, hang on.
Has to be. Like, fair enough, there's controversy around it, and there's, you know, people who are calling for the word to be removed or beeped or changed. Or
it has been. I was on my way to work last night in the car, and it came on, and the F word was removed from it. So
this is correct. Yeah, I think any version of the song, as long as it's any version of the song is I will sing out proudly, and it's a great song, and obviously nowadays it is getting a bit of backlash. So obviously, you know, if that word comes on, you skip over it nowadays, really. But it is a great song. It's a great vibe. Anytime it comes on, like I remember even recently we played a game of football and we were coming home on the bus, and you know that song was blaring on, and not one lad was sitting down in his seat after that. It was everyone guns blazing, going for that. It was it's just such a good song. It's to me, it's just the one song I always would associate with Christmas.
Yeah, fully. Especially like it's proper Irish Christmas song as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we actually mentioned it on the podcast before. I think it might have been during during the first lockdown we did a Zoom cast, like the very first lockdown, where I was out in the shed filming this, and I think somebody put in a question about you being able to sing or something like that. And you were like, oh, yeah. He's like, there's one song I can sing when I'm very fucking drunk. And he says, I think I'm really, you know, I'm not good, but I'm not terrible when it comes to that. And it was Fairy Tale of New York. So
there you go.
There you go. Maybe next Christmas, Aaron and Grivach will do a Fairy Tale of New York cover for the ShiteTalk channel. Who knows? That would be horrific.
That's how we outro the video. But that has to be an in-person one if we can do it.
Yes,
it has to be.
And there has to be pints involved. There can't be a sober podcast.
Yeah, it'll just be the end of the podcast and then just cuts away to this scenic background of you and me just singing in Fairy Tale of New York as the video rolls out. The credits are rolled. Yeah. The new year will be brought in royally on the ShiteTalk podcast. That's the way to do it. That's the only way to do it, in my opinion. That bookmark that in the calendar now, because that is, bro, we're doing that.
Magnifique.
That's going to be unreal, lad.
Magnifique. We have to do that. For sure. So, yeah, that one was a bit of an objective question. I don't think. And I feel like the next one is too, and it's of a similar genre of question. Best Christmas movie ever. There's only one, really, surely.
Oh,
now there
God,
is a few.
no.
Now there is a few. Now Christmas songs get a bad rap. You know, there's a few that you'll say are decent. But I would say there's probably more decent Christmas movies than there is Christmas songs.
I'm gonna cause controversy in a minute.
Oh,
and I guarantee we don't have the same favorite or best Christmas film of all time.
Okay.
So first off, I would like to say, obviously, Die Hard's a Christmas film.
Okay.
Die Hard is an exceptionally good film. I've seen recently it's on Disney Plus. I am going to watch it either today or tomorrow after work. That is being done. However, to me, right, whether I don't know whether I'll say it's the best Christmas film of all time, because that's a very, very high rank. But my personal favorite Christmas film of all time, and I've got stick for this.
Oh yeah, go on.
The Polar Express.
The Polar Express.
That is me favorite film of all time. The reason being is because it would always come on RTE, like back in the day before Christmas.
Christmas Eve.
It was like tradition in the house that you'd watch some sort of Christmas film, and like that's the one I always watch. And I grew up watching that, and it was just I don't know what it was, but it was kind of like one of those ones where it was just I really enjoyed it as a child. So it just stuck with me the whole way through. There's a lot, obviously, of people who disagree with that and say the Polar Express is shit and all this crack, and it's a dead film, and you know, there's cases for it. But do you know what, man? I don't actually know if I can pick the best Christmas film. I'll let you answer first, and it'll come back to me, and we'll see if you can persuade.
See, when you said, you're going to grill me for this, I thought you were going to come out with something fucking ludicrous like Christmas with the Cranks or something like that. Do you ever see Christmas with the Cranks?
I have that on DVD. I got that for DVD on Christmas one of the years.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen. You know, good cast. Absolutely good cast. Terrible movie. Fucking terrible movie.
Butchered it.
You can't just say, we've got Tim Allen. He was in Santa Claus. Let's get him for our movie, and then just expect it to automatically be good. That's not how movies work, folks. However, Polar Express is a great movie. I don't care what anyone says. It's a bit now. The CGI maybe hasn't aged brilliantly because all the adults' faces are just Tom Hanks.
Yep, that is the case.
From the guy on the train to, I'm pretty sure Santa Claus himself has Tom Hanks's face. The hobo living on top of the train has Tom Hanks's face.
Doctor.
Yeah, they're all Tom Hanks, which is a little bit haunting, admittedly. But the movie's still good. Like, I have no problem with the movie. Like, I'd happily go back and watch it now. I thought, honestly, Home Alone is obviously one that sticks out as a massive one. I mentioned Tim Allen's Santa Claus movies. I love Santa Claus 2, I think it is.
Yeah.
Great movie as well. But for me, I don't think anything comes close to Home Alone. I think it's just too iconic.
Okay.
I think it's clear. Unfortunately.
Clear. Oh. All right.
Now, I will say this about the Home Alone franchise. They've absolutely fucked it ever since. Really, Home Alone 2 was like the last one you could say, okay, it's all right. See, have you seen anything to do with the new one that was released this year?
No, I've only seen, I've seen one. Vaguely seen one. I've seen vaguely two. I've seen definitely Lost. Is 2 where they're in Lost in New York? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen 2 definitely. I've seen 2 the whole way through a couple of times. I haven't seen 3. Was there a 4th one?
I think there was a 4th and a 5th, and I believe was this year's one the 6th. I could be wrong in saying that.
Could be.
But obviously, completely different child. Obviously, Macaulay Culkin's about 50 years old now at this stage. I don't know what age the man is. But,
he's living his life.
Yeah, completely new kid. And spoilers for anyone who, for some reason, would want to see the new Home Alone movie. Basically, the robbers are this husband and wife, and the child. They think the child stole their doll. That's going to make them a lot of money. But they're not just doing it to make money. The family is struggling financially, and they were going to sell this doll that the husband's grandmother had. So it means a lot to him, but he was going to sell it for a lot of money to help them financially. He didn't want to sell it, but he had to. And they think the child has stolen it, and then they just do the classic Home Alone thing where he sets traps and hurts these poor people. I was just like, Wow. I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen the movie, but I watched Screen Rant. You know Ryan George? I watched Screen Rant, the pitch meeting for it. Obviously, he takes the piss out of things anyway. But just looks like an absolute car crash of a movie. So wouldn't recommend, but...
Why? What was the idea behind the film? If that's the concept, like these two struggling financial people have a doll stolen.
Yeah.
They obviously want to get the doll back.
Yeah.
Macaulay, or this new Macaulay, whatever his name is.
By the way, the new kid is a little shit as well. By the way,
instead of just giving it back, he's going to physically harm them to keep it.
Yeah.
But surely the concept would be, if, say, for instance, let's go back to the start. The kid has stolen their doll, which they need to make money to live, basically. Call the fucking police. It's a 10-minute movie. It's a short film.
And as it turns out, it was a different kid that took the doll, not the new Kevin McAllister. So really, all of this could have been resolved with, do you have our doll? No. All right. Do you know who does? No. Movie over. But as Ryan George said, we need there to be a big misunderstanding so the movie can happen. That's just... It's lazy writing.
Probably know at that point, when you've watched all of it, and let's say that film is bad. Let's say, hypothetically, that film is bad, right? You're after sitting through all that bad to try and get an ending where something happens. They just tell you at the end, nah, he's the wrong kid.
Yeah.
And then it's done. Like, that would be if that would annoy me so much. Like, there's some films that can pull off that whole thing where everything was, not what it was meant to be, and everything was not as we laid it out, and it's just big plot twist. Some films can pull that off. Home Alone remake cannot pull that off. Under any circumstances is that ever going to work. Yeah.
Actually, on the concept of movies, and specifically Home Alone, right, we have a DVD, right, in our house, right? I don't know where it is. I could go off and find it, but I could be searching all day, right? Basically, it's a remake. I think have I showed you when you were over in the house? Maybe. It's a remake of Home Alone, but the kid is a dog. And the movie's called Bone Alone. Oh no. Fucking Bone Alone.
Like, someone went to college, got a job, 5 years of education to get to the chance where they can set up a script in a film, and the best they could do was copy the concept of another film, change the character to a dog, and change one word in the title. Bone Alone.
I want to see if I can get the blurb that's on the back of the box. Let me see, because it is fucking hilarious. Let me see. Basically, there's your box art anyway, lad, as well, by the way. He's doing the Kevin McAllister kind of...
Oh, my God. Oh, that is so cursed. That might be one of the worst things I've ever seen on the box of a DVD ever. That poor... Oh, no.
Oh, my God, man. Basically, I think this director... Say again?
Like, is the film in CGI? Like they use, like...
Yeah,
sort of like...
Yeah, he speaks, like the dog speaks.
Yeah, but it's not like a real dog that they do.
I think it is. But they just make his mouth move like that.
That poor dog.
Yeah. Apparently the director for this movie, if I can find his name, it's got a 59. Somehow it's got a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. How? That's way too much.
Paid that off.
So the directors are Joseph J. Lawson, right? Joseph J. Lawson is one of the directors, and apparently his whole thing is that he rips off movies. Like
looking them up here now.
Apparently he ripped off.
Oh my God! He actually rips everything off.
Yeah, did he do He might have done Sharknado as well. I think it's the same guy that did Sharknado.
Age of the Dinosaurs, Lord of the Elves.
Oh my God, Lord of the Elves. There's another good one, Matt. Nazis to the Center of the Earth. is a movie he made. It's a movie he made. Nazis in the Center of the Earth. I'm not joking.
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
Oh dear God.
Yeah. I don't know how that who signed off on that. Do you know?
What? Who paid to watch that?
Who paid to have the movie made? That's what I want to know. Shouldn't have been made.
Who even thought this was a good idea?
Can I read out the Wikipedia? They've actually, because of copyright reasons, they've actually had to change the name from Bone Alone to Alone for Christmas. Right?
Oh, thank God.
Alone for Christmas, also known as Bone Alone, is a 2013 comedy film created by the independent film group The Asylum. A loose mockbuster. Okay, so it's trying to be self-aware, I suppose, of the hit film series Home Alone. The film director is Joseph J. Lawson. Fraudulent behavior, my friend. Written by Nancy Leopardi. It stars David DeLuise, Kim Little, and Davis Cleveland. You know, really
top names in the acting world at the minute.
There's literally a section on Wikipedia called premise. The only way to say like plot or whatever is premise, just the general premise. When a family visits grandma's house on Christmas Eve, they leave their dog at home alone. When 3 thieves try to take the presents from under the Christmas tree, the dog must use every trick in the book to stop them.
What fucking dog is gonna do that? What the fuck, man?
What I don't like here, did it have a... They don't have... They do. Oh my God. I'm looking at the...
I don't know if I can watch any more of this.
I'm looking at the cast, right? Hooligan the dog as Bone.
Hooligan
the dog as Bone. Torpedo as Columbus the dog. Hitchcock as Cupcake the dog.
We are so far back as a species because of this film. This highlights everything wrong with us as a species. We made a film about dogs breaking in and stuff.
So I have a proposition, right? Danny suggested last night that me and you start a new series starting in 2022 where we watch the world's worst films together.
Okay, right? Yeah, let's do it.
Why don't we kick off the series with Bone Alone?
Oh God, okay. All right, I'm up for it.
Are you down for that?
I'm up for it, but I'm gonna need my own popcorn. I'm gonna need to actually, because I'm not gonna be enjoying this film. This film is gonna need some food with it, to get me through it.
Oh, you're gonna need some fucking alcohol, I think, as well, to wash down the fucking pain of this movie, man. So right, that's it. It's decided. We're gonna watch Alone for Christmas, aka Bone Alone, to kick off our new series. What we call it? Just Aaron and Jack watch the world's shittest films Jack, or something.
Yeah. The worst rated films.
Oh man, because I reckon, I genuinely do think you could go down the list of Joseph J. Lawson's, his what would you call it? His CV, and I'd say you could just pick out all of his movies and just say, right, let's watch. I don't think, for YouTube reasons, I don't think we want to watch Nazis at the Center of the Earth. Personally,
no, I just looked it up there actually as well while you were looking at other things. It is quite literally
exactly what it says in the tin.
Oh, shit. Yeah. The synopsis is: a group of scientists are captured by the infamous Nazi war criminal Dr. Mengele and are taken into his lair, where he has been using twisted experiments to keep his decaying followers alive. Just Nazi zombies.
Wow.
But they made a film about it.
Jesus.
Got a 3.1 out of 10 by IMDb.
Wow. Let me see. I want to see who you've heard of. Sharknado, I presume. I think Sharknado was a bit of a meme.
I've never seen it, but I've heard of Sharknado. Okay,
Sharknado isn't directed by Lawson. It's directed by Anthony C. Ferrante.
Oh God.
Apparently, there's a Sharknado movie. I think there's like 6 of them. for some reason.
There's lots.
There's lots of them. There's one that like brings aliens into it and something. It's crazy. It's absolutely fucking crazy.
It's like we'll just throw whatever we want into the film and just let it run from there. Like
it's kind of like, let's just throw as much shit on the wall and see what sticks. And in the case of these movies, nothing is going to stick. But anyway, we'll get back on track. Bone Alone watch along will be coming very soon. Probably start of 2022. All right. Right. It's confirmed. Locked in. Okay.
It's done.
It's done. Let me see. Okay. Right. We've got one more question here. Right. And basically, it's kind of asking if everyone in Ireland has the same Christmas. So, like, what would be like a general kind of Christmas morning in the Grivach household?
Right. Well, general Christmas morning would be, right, obviously, I usually wake up the earliest because I just naturally wake up early, which is so annoying. But so I'm just chilling in bed. Either I will go back to sleep and wait for someone to wake me up because, like, there was a time obviously when you would be the first up, you would go and wake everyone else up. Now it's like a case of, right, I'm gonna chill and I'm just waiting for everyone else to come up. So what usually happens is someone will get up and then ask, see, is everyone awake? And is everyone awake? Are they ready to go downstairs and all this crack? And you go downstairs, and then I think what we usually do is we open one present in the morning. That is the max. We might get two if you're lucky. If everything's going well, you get two.
Right.
Like you might get one big one or two small ones. And then you open them and obviously you do your thing. And then next is probably breakfast. Breakfast will vary some Christmases. Some days we'll have like just standard breakfast. If we're like back in the day, we just have standard breakfast sometimes because we're going to mass, so there's a bit of a rush on. But if we say went to Saturday mass, which is what we usually do now, we go to Saturday mass, then just have the morning on Christmas. Probably get a fry, and that fry will have everything. It'll even have waffles if you want. It is all out. Yeah, man, it's a pro. Even thinking about it now is getting me hyped for a little Christmas breakfast. So I'm looking forward to it. And then everyone just kind of chills. They do their own thing. Usually there's something on the telly, like be it sport or if there's something like film or something like that, or everyone just does their own thing for a bit. Everyone just chills and then just has the crack. And then obviously you have dinner, standard stuff, dessert. And then again, you get like a half an hour, just chill for a bit, and then more than likely we'll do the rest of the presents, and then in the evening time there'll probably be a crack, like do like, I don't know, a game or something like that, or just some sort of activity, and then just chill for the evening, and then whenever you're ready, you can head up to bed, enjoy the rest of the evening, have a relax, and that's pretty much it. It's fairly standard, I would say.
Fair. Well, the one thing I will say is I find it interesting that you open one present, maybe two, in the morning, and then like the rest in the evening. I found that very strange because I feel like most people tend to go down and then the children just go ham and just fucking open everything.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it is like that, you know. And we kind of were like that at one point, and then we were kind of like, you know, it's kind of because we're like everyone's tired and stuff like that sometimes in the morning, so we're just like, we'll just do one, get breakfast, get ourselves set, and then when everyone's like, you know, set, we just go down and then do everything. But yeah, I definitely know that we're one of very few people that would just do one present in the morning. But I think it's just kind of the reason we do that is so we're spreading it out and we're not having like big massive gaps between things, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think that's the reason Mom says she does it.
That's fair, I suppose. Yeah, it's a good reason.
Yeah, this is all right. Like I have no personal problem with it, so I don't think anyone does. Yeah. So it's still, man, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds good. Like for us, like similar to you, I would have been usually one of the first up, but ever since I started working, like my Christmas work, obviously I work nights. By the time Christmas morning comes around, I'm just happy to stay in bed until I'm woken up. And you know, usually the children are up from a very early hour. Obviously, unlike you, I still have very young siblings in the house.
Yeah.
So you know, they're obviously up from a very early hour. But then we go down, we give our grand aunt a call who lives next door to us. So we give her a call in the morning. We all kind of just stand around, linger in the hall until she comes in, because usually the presents are like in the sitting room, as you would expect. And yeah, she comes over, we head in, and the children just go ham, and literally, it's like carnage, bro. It's like, right, where's my pile? Where's my pile? It's like,
the piles.
It's unreal, unbelievable. But then, obviously, you know, they start opening stuff. A couple of pickies get taken. Kind of people are like, oh, what did you get? What did you get? And all this. And then Dad comes in. Usually has like a little glass of like a champagne. Would you call it champagne type thing for like the adults? And very early in the morning, by the way. Like, I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, similar to you then. And now fry is usually common. You know, on Christmas morning. I think we've started going to Christmas Eve mass as well because it's just handier. I don't know what the crack was last year. Did you have like a drive-in mass like us?
I think we did there was an online one. I think we just did a Zoom thing, I think, or either that or there was just a link. It's like it's like a private YouTube live or something like that, or just some sort of live event or whatever. Either that, I do remember actually. No, that was a communion. Yeah, I do remember seeing that she's had a the place had a live, it was crazy. I actually remember being there for a communion or a confirmation. It was very surreal. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I remember Christmas Eve last year. Like car park was absolutely packed. So we obviously went in 2 cars. There was like my mom, my dad, and the 3 youngest siblings in 1 car, and then like me, Danny, and Josh went in Danny's car. And because the car park was absolutely packed by the time we got there, and Danny didn't really fancy hanging around or trying to get out of a car park, so we literally parked across the road from the church. Couldn't hear fucking anything going on. We just we seen people getting out of their cars then when the Eucharist was happening. So we actually got out of the car, ran across the fucking road to get Eucharist off the fucking priest. It was like, it's the weirdest thing, but you know, what are you gonna do? It's fucking COVID times, I suppose.
This is it. Come 3 randomers just running out of nowhere to get the Eucharist. Like.
Exactly. But yeah, Christmas Eve mass. So then like Christmas Day is usually like fairly free. Usually like before COVID, we used to do a thing where we, you know, all the aunties and uncles and cousins from like my mother's side of the family, because they're all kind of living still in the general vicinity, would go to my grandparents' house who live in, you know, still at home, you know, close to us. So we'd all used to like go there, and you know, the aunties and uncles would exchange presents and all that kind of stuff. And we'd all just be there for an hour or 2, head home, have the dinner, and then maybe an old Christmas movie or usually a Harry Potter movie. And then that's pretty much it. Now because of COVID, we can't really do that. But I believe we're having some sort of get together outside. I think they might be coming here or something like that, because obviously where we recorded our Champions League final watch along, we have that kind of outside area now with the roof and everything. So I think that's what will be happening. But yeah, again, like you said, fairly standard, but it's good. I nearly prefer the lead up to Christmas than the day itself. Personally, I like the old hype building. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just like. I'm not saying Christmas is like, I'm not being a Grinch or anything like that, but like Christmas is great. But I don't know. There's something about the excitement of the build up to Christmas that's nearly better than the day itself.
I feel like as well, you know, like in your house, because you have like younger siblings still, it definitely, you know, there's a big hype around, and like
you can still you can still feel some of that hype, I suppose. Still,
yeah. Like I'm not saying that just because, you know, like we're all a bit older now in my house. Like there's not hype around. There obviously is. But it's definitely, I can imagine, like, you know, obviously, like the young children and all the magic of Christmas and all that kind of crack. It's still very much alive in the house. So I'd say definitely, you know, I can understand why the build up is you know, a bit better for yourself, like, you know.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that would be the general Christmas day. Nothing too special. Then, kind of in the days following, might go see, you know, the relations that live up in Dublin, that'd be like on my dad's side of the family and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Then it's just back into assignments and stuff for college, which is just great. You know? I'll never forget last year. I left myself with so much work to do over the Christmas. I literally had like 8 assignments due in like 5 days or something like that, and like I did none of it.
I vaguely remember that as well. Like,
yeah, you've probably seen my hairline going back and back with the stress. Oh man, it was fucking so bad. Let me see. I'll have a look. I'll have a quick look at the Instagram messages we got.
While you're doing that, mate, I want to bring up something because I've seen this. It's come up twice now on TV for me, right, and I have to address it. Have you seen the new? I don't know if it's I think it was on Sky Sports. Dart, I was watching it and just came up during the interval. There is a Christmas ad for Viagra.
I have not seen that. No,
have you not? Oh my god! Right, look up. I honestly, when I've seen this, I'm like, what is going on?
Maybe I have. Maybe I have. Hang on, let me see.
It is like this really weird, like obviously there's a man and a woman, and they're trying, and it doesn't work, and then because it doesn't work, everything falls away. And then all of a sudden, it's like this really upbeat music. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone, but I just think it's so cringy for Viagra.
Is it animated? Or is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's animated. Right. So yeah. Is it this? Can you see that?
Yeah, it's not. Oh my god, it's
right, okay. You're going to get my live reaction to it now. Yeah.
It's the music. It's the music that gets me every time.
I have not seen this ad yet, by the way. Okay, the bed's getting bigger.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you.
What is this?
This is what I mean.
Dream about the time when I'm working. Yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's working hard for you. And if
What?
Yeah.
Oh, he looks stressed.
He's stressed. That man's not going.
Oh, and like, the beds, all the beds, just they're flying away.
Yeah, it's just they're there. That's what Viagra does. Flies you away.
Let's give it a go.
No. And it just cuts away to
Viagra on the.
To Viagra.
Don't let life get in the way of your love story.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
What the fuck did I just watch?
That's what I'm saying. It is so weird on so many levels. I was like, why is this ad on at Christmas time?
The top comment.
8 o'clock as well. It wasn't even late.
Top comment brought tears to my eyes in my private area. Well. My entire hang on. My entire household fucking died when the Viagra box came on screen. I read the small print at the bottom a split second before the box showed up and just muttered, "Oh shit." What is that, man?
Oh, brilliant.
What the fuck? I've not seen that. I hope I don't see that. Oh, like on telly, man.
I've only seen that twice, but oh dear God.
To be fair, I haven't seen much TV recently because I've been in work at nighttime. So, maybe stay off TV until after Christmas. Maybe is what I'll be saying to myself here. Fucking hell, that is horrendous. Has anyone else seen any just really ridiculous and weird Christmas ads? Please do let us know. In the comment section down below, because some of them are just really dumb. One of them that came on before Spider-Man, it came on in the cinema, and I've seen it a couple of times prior to that. Was the Super Value one, and it's
the reindeer.
The reindeer.
Oh, stop!
It's so stupid. It's
Thank
it's like,
you.
the magic of Christmas. It's like,
you're gonna get back home. It's like,
your one's voice pisses me off as well, though. I'm not gonna lie. She's just there, like, she's like, no, you gotta get back for Christmas. And I'm like, oh,
it's
shut
a
up.
fucking deer, you retard.
You stupid cunt.
Because you imagine it's a cutaway, and it's just them sitting them down. It's like, it's a fucking deer, Rachel. Get over it.
Yeah.
It's not a reindeer.
There was one as well, was it for Amazon Prime Video with a hyena or something like that? And
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, this guy works in a zoo and he's all miserable. And then he starts watching his favorite series on Amazon Prime Video. And he's like sitting beside, I think it's a hyena, like the hyena section of the zoo. And this one comes out and just starts watching the show with him. And then the other hyenas start making fun of and turn on that hyena, and the guy working in the zoo brings the hyena home, and he ends up being his pet, and they always watch Amazon Prime Video together and stuff.
If you ever want to know, lads, if you're ever in the Africa or any zone where you're in danger of hyenas, all you have to do is just bring up Amazon Prime, put something like the Grand Tour, something on
about your favorite series,
and you never mind trying to run for your life or come across intimidating or don't move. Just stick on Amazon Prime. Survival Tips by Amazon. I'm sure that's going to save many lives when it occurs to people in the wild.
Yeah, look, I get that Christmas advertising is supposed to be happy and uplifting and, all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, I do look at it and think, God, it's so stupid. It's so dumb. Half of them are just the storylines are just so fucking ridiculous.
You can tell it's one of those ones where it's right, we just need to think of any semi-story and pin it together so we can just throw a product image at the end.
Yeah.
It's so poor.
So poor. So, okay, right. I've got the Instagram up, lad. We've got 3 questions and none of them are Christmas related. None of them are. So, right, we've talked about this before. Ronaldo or Messi? You're Ronaldo. I'm Messi. Yeah. It is the way it is. Do you know what I mean? We've had this discussion before.
I think it's good, though, that we are both like that. We won't spend, literally to end that section, I assume, because we want to move on. I think it's good that we both are Messi and Ronaldo, because that way you're not just biased in this discussion when we had it. Obviously, go back to the lads if you want to watch it. I can't remember what episode it was, but definitely we have talked about this more than once.
Yeah, there's been more than one episode where we talked about the Messi-Ronaldo debate. And at the same time, you've given your thoughts. You said that you prefer Ronaldo. I've said I prefer Messi. But at the same time, we both just like to enjoy both of them at the same time.
Exactly.
While we still have them. So, but yeah, you're allowed to have your favorites by all means. You're allowed to prefer Ronaldo. I'm allowed to prefer Messi. We're both allowed to have our various reasons why. And that's why, football is an opinions-based game a lot of the time. Sometimes some things are just objective, like terrible VAR decisions. But at the same time, you're allowed to have your opinion. And I think it's good that we have different opinions. It makes the podcast more interesting to listen to, I suppose. But I suppose the next question is, again, it's a football-related one. It's an opinion-based one. It's the next era of GOATs, if you like. Which one are you right now? Are you Kylian Mbappe or are you Erling Haaland? That's actually a good one. I don't think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, I'm going to just go on record and say, right, the thing with Erling Haaland is, and this is my stand on it, Erling Haaland has only recently come up on the stage and the spotlight is on him. Now, Erling Haaland, we'll call it a spade. Erling Haaland is a lethal finisher. I think I saw he got injured and in 15 minutes of his return, scored.
Yeah.
So he is proven prolific. Now, obviously, he's in the Bundesliga. Mbappe is in the
league.
So obviously, there's arguments to say are they really competitive leagues for those two players? I think I really like Haaland. I really, really like Haaland. I think he's a character. He's a good. I think he's really the perfect striker in that he's got pace, he's got strength, he's got height. You know, he can. You know, he's mobile, as he can adjust his body to, you know, get the ball in the back of the net. Kylian Mbappe is a very good footballer, and I agree. I'm not disagreeing that he isn't a big player. I want to say Haaland, but my only issue with Haaland is, have we given him the same time as Mbappe? As we're saying, like, Mbappe is a bit more experienced. He had a bit of a stinky period there. You know, Haaland's having that period that Mbappe had at the start where he's really, really good. He's in really good form.
Yeah.
It's when he has that stinker period how he's going to, come back. Because there's so many times where we see really, really good players, like, potentially coming out, and then they have bad periods of form and they just can't get out of that. I think what makes Messi and Ronaldo so good is that even when they're in bad form, they either will play out of it or still perform at such a good level, even at their worst. Do you know what I mean? So that's where I would look at it. I think at the minute it's very difficult to say who is definitely. There are definitely two that will be. I don't think there's any denying that. I'm going to say Haaland because I just think he's more of a balanced striker and goal scorer at the minute, as it stands.
Okay, well, this one we actually agree on. I am Haaland as well. I am Haaland as well. And, to a degree, I get Mbappe's done more in his career. Mbappe's played and scored and won in a World Cup final. He's been on the scene a lot longer than Erling Haaland has. But if you were to ask me right now, who would you take for Chelsea? Who would you want? Who would you want Chelsea to go out and buy? Mbappe or Haaland? I'm taking Haaland all day long because he's so strong. He's so lethal with every part. Like, right foot, left foot header doesn't matter to him. He is fucking quick. He is so fast. Like, have you ever seen the clip where Dortmund are starting a counter-attack? He starts off in his own box and he gets from one box to the other and he's doing his big run. Like, the man is an absolute monster. Mbappe, lightning quick, very skillful player, unbelievable finisher. But I just feel like, now, obviously, we need to give Haaland more time. Yeah. Obviously. I do think Haaland is playing in a harder league.
Yeah,
as well.
I agree with that.
But I just think he is just an absolute monster. Like, I would really fear Chelsea's defense coming up against him because he
definitely
is like, if he ends up going to Man City, it's over.
They're serious. We're all fucked, mate.
Football is finished. If Erling Haaland signs for Man City, football is finished for good because they are going to wipe the floor for decades.
Yeah, and it's going to be that dominance as well as we've seen previously. Here's a side fact. So we're talking about. You said there, Haaland is the more, like, we'll say, physically stronger, left foot, right foot header. He can do it all. That type of striker. And you said Mbappe is the more skillful, maybe quicker player. Are we potentially saying that Haaland is the new Cristiano Ronaldo and Kylian Mbappe is the new Messi? Is that where would we go so far as to say similar builds of players? Now, obviously, it's very difficult to compare those two to the greatest of all time, obviously, because they're so far ahead in every aspect of their careers. Yeah. Even at the young stages, they were miles ahead of most players at that level that were even more experienced than them. But are we saying, in terms of style and build, do we think that Haaland is a Ronaldo-esque and Mbappe is a Messi type?
Okay, well, the Haaland-Ronaldo comparison, I think, can be fair. I think I could also compare him to Zlatan as well, like that very complete, dominant centre forward. I think, Haaland and Ronaldo very similar. with Mbappe and Messi, I don't see. Messi's not just a skillful player. He's not just a goal scorer. Like, what Messi does is, now I know maybe he's adapted his game a bit more since he's got older, but Messi, if you watch PSG games now, he drops back into the midfield. He drops back into the six. He controls games from the midfield now with his passing range, his just awareness, his ability to see a pass that nobody else could see on. It's hard to say whether that Mbappe will never have that, but right now he doesn't. And I think Messi always had that passing ability and that vision to see passes that nobody else could see. And that's one of the main reasons why I'd always be back in Messi's corner over Ronaldo, is like the more, I don't know, complete aspects of his game, whereas Ronaldo is just like a lethal goal scorer. Whereas, like, that's why I think you're spot on with the Ronaldo Haaland comparisons. Like, lethal goal scorer. Even when he's not in a game, you still think he's probably going to score today. And we see that ever so, present now with Man United Ronaldo, because like he's barely involved in games, and he still pops up. He just pops up with goals. Like that goal against Tottenham on the volley. Oh. Man, I seen that goal. I very rarely celebrate a Man United goal, and it's not just because it was against Tottenham. But when that goal went in, I literally went, "Oh, fucking hell, Jesus!" So yeah, I think Haaland Mbappe, or Haaland Ronaldo comparison fair. Mbappe Messi, I think they are quite different. Personally, I think Mbappe you could probably compare a lot more to the likes of Thierry Henry, not just because he's a French striker or anything like that, but the fact that he's so quick, he's nearly trademarked that side foot finish coming in off the left and bending them in. So yeah, I'd be more likely to compare Mbappe to Thierry Henry than I would Lionel Messi for sure.
Fair.
But yeah, we've given our opinions. I think Haaland. Oh, right now I'd have Haaland over Mbappe every day in the week, but it's not to say Mbappe is not already a world-class player, and he's only going to get better, realistically. We've one more question here. Do I even want to ask this question?
Go on, finish it with a bang.
Oh, it's a bang, all right. What's your opinion on pegging? No, that's my opinion. Anyway, not going anywhere near it. Sorry.
I'd agree with that statement. Nothing against it. Nothing against people who engage in it. But no.
Never.
No.
Never in a million years.
No.
No, thank you. But yeah, what a way to end the Christmas podcast, everyone. That was.
I did not expect that.
I know. When you were like, oh yeah, go on, end it with a bang. I was like, you don't want me to ask this question.
You're not ready for this.
You don't want me to ask this question. But yeah. Anything else to add to that, Grivash, before we wrap up on another ShiteTalk podcast year?
Nothing really.
No.
No. No. Yeah. I look. Nothing major to add. Obviously it's been a up and down year for the podcast, but I think it's fair to say we've done well with the pod this year, and nice to end it, like you say, on a bit of a Christmassy vibe, and some new ideas sprouted from the pod itself. Some potential new video ideas we even talked about in summer, which will probably still be on the agenda soon. But yeah, no, nothing major to add, unless you want to add anything to sign it off.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, we've added more podcasts this year than I think we've ever done. I think we might have even doubled or tripled what we've done on previous years in terms of episodes, and that's probably largely down to the fact that we learned how to use Zoom and stop being a pair of boomers. But yeah, no, we got it done. I think we've done well this year. And yeah, onwards and upwards for the pod in 2022. Lads, I hope you guys did enjoy this Christmas special of the ShiteTalk podcast. If you did, make sure you do leave a like and leave a comment as well. And always feel free to leave topics and questions in the comment section. We don't get too many of them, so they will all, as we've seen today with the Instagram questions, they will all of them will be addressed.
Never mind what they are or what they might involve. They will always be answered on this, but
perhaps they shouldn't be. But
this podcast is not afraid to delve into the hard hitting questions as it is.
Just like that, just like that last one. Just like that last one. But yeah, lads, Screevatch, it's been a pleasure, lad. Thanks a million once again. Lads, if you did enjoy it, so leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and we will see you in 2022. Thank you for a great year. Good luck.